My boyfriend has become the most miserable man on earth ever since our daughter was born, making me feel like a failure and refusing to care for our child, but I can't leave him because my mom won't help me. We, 22 feet and 27 meters, have a 2-month-old daughter. She is super colicky, she hates being put down, she cries so much. Her pediatrician says she's just a miserable baby, and she will eventually grow out of it. My boyfriend wasn't the most supportive during my pregnancy, but now that our daughter has all of these problems, he's gotten so much worse. He complains that we don't have intimacy enough, he complains she cries too much, he complains that he works too much, and I'm a mooch for not having found a job yet. He often leaves me to manage everything while he plays video games or hangs out with friends. It's okay for him to go out, get drunk, and stay the night at a friend's house, but he will literally time me when I'm taking a shower and blame me for the fact our water bill is too high. He makes me feel like I'm a failure of a mother because our daughter spits up so much we go through 4/5 outfit changes a day, and he complains that it's too much laundry. Some bill is late or behind, and he blames me for not contributing to our shared bills, even though he promised to take care of us both. My boyfriend won't let us use any type of government assistance because he thinks that's beneath us. But we are constantly counting pennies, and I have to go without so we can get the special formula my daughter needs, so she's absolutely miserable all the time. We got into a fight yesterday because I placed a Walmart delivery for diapers, wipes, rash cream, and I bought myself some Chef Boyardee cans so I can have something to eat while he's at work. He ended up screaming at me yesterday while our daughter was crying and threw a freshly made bottle at my head, giving me a bruise on my forehead. I just started crying because I felt so defeated. I called my mom while he was at work today and just broke down. She said he's just struggling to adjust to fatherhood, and this is what I get for having a baby out of wedlock. She said she struggled hard when I was a child, and this is my punishment for not going to college and being a dumb cow. I get it some days because she was a single mom too, but I remember being primarily raised by my grandparents, and she's never even watched my baby. She doesn't want to because of her medical issues and has told me so. I told my mom I wanted to leave him, and she laughed and said I was being dumb and that he's all I've got now, and she won't help me. This is after me begging her to lend me some money so I can buy my own groceries, and I promised I'd pay her back once I find a job, anymore. Sometimes, I feel like I am just not cut out to be a parent. I don't feel like a good parent. My mom makes me feel even worse about it and has told me I need to give my daughter to a better family, and when my boyfriend is angry, he's told me he wished he had just left us so he wouldn't have to deal with us any longer. I think I need to leave my boyfriend, but I'm also scared to do that. Am I being dumb about wanting to leave him? Is my mom right? I don't want my daughter to grow up without her father, but he stresses me out so much now I don't even want to be around him because of his behavior. What should I do? Update 1. My grandparents are no longer with us, otherwise, I would leave him and go live with them. I called the DV hotline, and they are going to put me in touch with shelters. I have $7 to my name, and I put our important documents in the diaper bag. Please stop messaging me, telling me I'm a dummy or I should have canceled my baby. I can't turn back time now that she's here. I regret who her father is, but I don't want to give her up. I want to leave him, and I'm doing my best to get that in motion. I'm going to leave as soon as I can once a shelter has a place for us both. Update 2. There is a DV shelter, but they won't have a space for us until next Monday. The shelter is going to put me and my daughter up in a hotel starting on Friday. I'm going to get a protective order against my boyfriend and try to get as many of our things out of this apartment until then. I've taken photos of the bruise he gave me. I'm going to be doing a lot of packing while he's at work tomorrow and Friday. I'm going to apply for as many social services as I can, too, and I hope I get approved for them fast. I'm slowly getting a plan together to fully leave him. I will update everyone again once we are in the hotel or in the shelter on Monday. Thank you to everyone who's offered help, a place for us to stay, offered food and clothing, and stuff I may need once I'm in the shelter and back on my feet. I know I will be better off once I leave him, so I just have to keep going until then. Update 3. I know a lot of you wanted an update when I got one. I'm posting this while he's at work. I'm so tired and scared. I was up at 3 a.m. and again at 5 a.m. with my daughter and trying to ignore him. I haven't spoken to my mom about leaving him because I'm too worried she might tell him my plan. I'm just going to cut her out entirely because she isn't safe, and I'm too scared and worried she's going to take his side and try to make me stay with him when I don't want to. I've never been able to really trust my mom at all, but I know I can't trust her with this. The shelter won't have a space for us until Monday. I packed away all of our important documents, like our birth certificates and social security cards. The shelter can't get us placed in a hotel over the weekend, and I don't want to risk him finding out when he's off work, so I just have to make it through the weekend to get away from him. I'm hoping the shelter will be able to help me get any assistance I can apply for. I've never had to do it before, so I'm kind of clueless on how it works. I'm hoping I can also get a protective order against him, and he can't have our daughter alone until she grows out of her colic, and he won't be so frustrated or angry at her when she cries. I'm terrified to leave her alone with him, but I don't know if I'll have to let him see her once we leave. I'm going to continue stashing away our important items until he gets home, and I'm honestly hoping he just goes out to drink and stays away so I can have one night of peace, besides waking up every 2 to 3 hours for my daughter. I can't wait to take a shower as long as I want and eat a hot meal that isn't from a can. I'm hoping the shelter will be able to give me clothes that actually fit. I can't wait for when I don't have to wake up with anxiety in my stomach or worry about spending money, when I get a job and have my own income, or getting yelled at for buying necessities that I need and my daughter needs. I will update everyone again once we are in the shelter on Monday. Thank you to everyone who's offered help, advice, a place for us to stay, food, clothing, and stuff I may need once I'm in the shelter and back on my feet. I feel like I'm going to throw up the more I think about leaving, but I know I need to do it. Some of you really need to learn how to be empathetic. No, I will not send you photos of me to make money. No, you weirdos, I will not send you feet pics or photos of my daughter. I have people in my inbox asking if I will make a GoFundMe, and right now, I don't know. Too afraid of my daughter's father finding out. I do have my own bank account that he's never had access to. I have people in my inbox telling me to get a job. I'm hoping the shelter can help with that and get me a job fast, or just being downright mean and rude and saying really awful things. Yes, I know it was dumb of me to get pregnant at 21 and have a baby with a guy I'm not married to, but I am going to leave him and give my daughter a better life than the one I had. She deserves that, and I don't deserve to be treated the way her father has treated me for her short life. Update 4. Hi all, I know a lot of you wanted an update. We are in the shelter now. We left the apartment at 8 a.m. this morning, about an hour after my daughter's father left for work. It has been a long morning for me. I had to meet with a worker from the shelter, show that I had my location turned off on my phone, and she had to go through mine and my daughter's things that I brought to make sure there were no tracking devices. There are rules I have to follow, like a curfew. I can't have packages delivered, and I can't have the address shared publicly due to safety reasons. I can't let anyone know where I am, or else that's a violation, and we will have to leave for safety reasons. They gave me and my daughter a room and a spare pack and play for her to be in, along with a spare set of sheets and a blanket for me. The shelter will provide things like toilet paper, pads, and tampons, but if I want special stuff like my own body wash, shampoo, or laundry detergent, I have to get that on my own and make sure it is in my room and not in common areas. I can't eat in the room we were given, and all food and snacks have to be communal, but I can keep things like my baby's formula in the room. When we got to the shelter, they had me fill out applications for WIC, SNAP, TAMP, and Medicaid for both myself and my daughter. I also filled out an application to get a low-income apartment, but the shelter worker said that could take years before I'm approved. I also have to create my own resume and start finding a job as soon as possible. I had to provide my daughter's father's name and information to apply for these benefits, so I don't know if I'll have to give him custody or visitation to receive any government help. The shelter worker said I was better off talking to a lawyer, and she's going to give me a list of ones who work with the shelter and family law. I also need to get my daughter to see a new pediatrician because she was so angry, cranky, and miserable all weekend. I've never felt so stressed, scared, and sick to my stomach like I was just waiting for him to explode and make things even worse. It ended up with her father screaming at me and throwing and breaking things like plates and one of my candles. The next big thing is getting a protective order and seeing if that will help me with keeping custody of my daughter. I really don't want to share custody of her with him unless I absolutely have to. I'm just so tired and anxious. My stomach is in knots. I have to try and get a police escort to get my clothes and what few sentimental items I have because the shelter doesn't have clothes in my size right now. I'm scared my daughter's father has ruined more of my things. I'm scared he's ruined her things too. I feel like there is a ball in the pit of my stomach, and I feel like throwing up. I haven't been able to sleep or really think beyond getting away from my daughter's father. I have not contacted my mother because I can't trust her not to tell my daughter's father where we are. I feel like I'm starving, and I can't wait to have a hot meal. I'll probably have to change my phone number to make sure my daughter's father can't contact me. I have a bank account he has no access to, and I'm hoping I can find a job soon so I can get a car so we won't be relying on the shelter to get us to places we need to be. The shelter worker said it can take up to a month before I receive any assistance, and that has me nervous and scared too. I'm really hoping I hear something back soon for assistance and can hopefully get into a low-income apartment so we aren't in the shelter for a long time. I'm still scared of what's to come for our future just because I don't know what to expect next. I just want to never hear from her father again and move on and be done with him. Edit. People are asking me to make a GoFundMe. The shelter worker did not recommend a GoFundMe anyway due to privacy reasons. I made a Venmo with the same username as my Reddit username to keep some privacy. Thank you to everyone who has offered help so far and provided more resources to help me rebuild my life after leaving. The shelter worker was the one who said I may have to change my number if my daughter's father starts harassing me through text messages, but she didn't say I absolutely had to do it. I'm terrified for when he does get off work and goes back to the apartment. I'm just ready for things to get better. I still feel like I'm going to barf. Now it's just waiting and doing my best to make it day by day.